The delegates to the 1994 National Meeting of Diocesan Liturgical Commissions in St. Louis were responsible for the establishment of a national award which would recognize an individual who, or an organization which, had made significant contributions to furthering the liturgical renewal in the United States. In January of '95, the Board of Directors voted to name the award after Monsignor Frederick R. McManus and to designate him as its first recipient. Now, 30 years later, we have amassed quite a who's who of worthy recipients. Several of those recipients are in the room this evening. If you've already received a McManus, please stand. Paul and, okay. And tonight's recipient was gracious enough. I said, you know, we're going to have the Cardinal in town this week with us. Would you mind if I awarded a second McManus Award this year? And of course, he immediately said, that's certainly okay with him. So now, one such worthy recipient on that list of who's who is Bishop Mark J. Seitz. Bishop Seitz was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the eldest of 10 children. He was ordained a priest of the Diocese of Dallas in 1980 after receiving his BA in philosophy, as well as a Master of Divinity and an MA in theology from the University of Dallas. Bishop Seitz also received an MA in liturgical studies at St. John's University in Minnesota. After ordination, Bishop Seitz served as a pastor of parishes in Garland, Waxahachie, and Dallas, Texas. He also taught liturgy and sacramental theology at the University of Dallas and served as vice rector and director of liturgy at Holy Trinity Seminary. Bishop Seitz was named Prelate of Honor to His Holiness by Pope St. John Paul II in 2004. In 2010, Pope Benedict XVI elevated Bishop Seitz to the office of bishop, and he was ordained and appointed as the auxiliary bishop of Dallas. In 2013, Pope Francis appointed Bishop Seitz as the 6th bishop of El Paso. As a prelate serving a borderland community whose sister city is Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, am I pronouncing that correct? The bishop has focused his work and heart on the poor and vulnerable, including and especially migrant families and refugees who have made their home in this region or who choose the community as their point of passage. The bishop believes that migrants add inestimable value to the communities where they choose to live, and that parishes and community members should welcome them with compassion, love, and solidarity. How fortunate for us that he currently serves as the chair of the USCCB Committee on Migration. At a September 15th gathering hosted by the Center for Migration Studies, Bishop Seitz spoke against recent attempts at mass deportations. He said, "What we are seeing is that migrants are scapegoats in a crisis with deeper roots, ethical, social, economic, and political. Migrants are unfortunate canaries in the coal mine." He offered encouragement to all Catholics, especially those who advocate for migrants. He notes, "We are working toward rebuilding, as Pope Leo said, a world where power is tamed by conscience and law is at the service of human dignity." His passion for social justice is equal to Bishop Seitz's passion for the liturgy. He believes in the power of the Church's prayer to transform lives. Each day, he champions the Council's liturgical reform and the art of liturgical celebration. He often speaks on Ars Celebrandi and models it well for his clergy and assemblies. Naturally, then, he has served 2 terms as a member on the Bishop's Committee on Divine Worship. Inspired and nourished by word and sacrament, our entire church is called forth to preach the gospel and to build the kingdom of God. Our baptism demands that we do. We support those who try courageously, and we applaud those who succeed. In this man, the members of the FDLC recognize the important integration of liturgy and social justice. So we are deeply honored to present the 2025 McManus Award to Bishop Mark Seitz.
Now I get to speak. I tried to come prepared. I am very proud to receive this award. Never in my life did I imagine that my name would be mentioned on the same list with the likes of Monsignor Frederick McManus, Father Godfrey Diekman, who was my teacher, Sister Kathleen Hughes, Father Aidan Kavanaugh, Father Nathan Mitchell, Mandrake, Robert Taft, Kevin Cecils, who also taught me, Mary Frances Reza, Dom Ansgar Chapungo, Father Paul Turner, Sister Joyce Ann Zimmerman, and Father Jan Michael Jonkus. They have been my teachers and my heroes. Are y'all sure about giving me this award? But please, don't change your mind. The reception of this honor has led me to think about what the liturgy has meant to me in my life. The simple answer is everything. Everything. The liturgy means everything to me, and I believe it means everything to the world. In the liturgy, I believe I have stumbled upon a great discovery. I've discovered the theory of everything. What is the theory of everything? Well, it's more than the title of a movie about the life of that brilliant astrophysicist and sufferer of ALS, Stephen Hawking. The theory of everything is a quest that Hawking undertook, which became his life work. I had an idea what the theory was seeking to explain, but I needed a little help. So here is how AI summed it up. In simple terms, a theory of everything is a hypothetical framework that would unify all the fundamental forces of nature and all the different types of matter in the universe into one single coherent theory. It aims to explain everything from the smallest subatomic particles to the largest structures like galaxies and the entire universe using a single set of equations. Thank you, AI. Now we understand. I raise this because what became the life work of Hawking in the field of science has really been my passion from the earliest recollections of my life. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm no Stephen Hawking. But from my earliest memories, I've been a questioner. And my questions always grew out of a search for meaning and an intuition that meaning is indeed able to be discovered. There is a logic and order, a beauty to life that begins with but also transcends anything science could investigate. There has always been within me a conflict between head and heart, a struggle between an intellectual quest to know the answers to the wondrous mysteries of the world around me, and a desire to have a relationship with the one who is the source of it all. I've wanted to know him and all he has revealed. When I behold your heavens, the work of your hands, who are we that you should be mindful of us, or your children that you should care for us? Being a questioner and a bit of a skeptic, I quickly came to the conclusion that what human beings could know about the ultimate questions was pretty limited. I had no more trust in myself than in anyone else that I could reliably discover the answers. That quest led me back to the church with her 2,000-year-old claim to be Christ's living body in the world. I wanted to learn all she had to teach. But even that was not all. I longed to know about someone, another thing to know. It's one thing to know about someone, but another thing to know the person, to have a relationship based upon a mutual friendship, a mutual love. Now, I'm no mystic, wish I were, but in both intimate, private moments, and particularly in very public ones, in acts of worship, I have sensed God's mysterious presence. As we sing in Spanish, Dios está aquí, tan cierto como el aire que respiro. Yeah, God is here as certain as the air we breathe. I have sensed God present with his mercy in moments when I felt lost in sin, and in moments of jubilation when he chose me by the laying on of hands. I encounter him in his sacrifice, in which we renew in Eucharist, and in the communion of his body and blood. Through the years, I've maintained my love of the sciences. I remain fascinated by the world around me and the universe beyond me. I have seen in every human person a universe to be discovered. But all these wonders lead me back to the ultimate mysteries. Those bring me back to the church. And the church leads me to the Lord, whom I encounter in his many disguises, as Mother Teresa used to say, such as in the poor and the sick, the immigrant, and in the unborn child. All of these encounters lead me to the worship of the church, the liturgy. The saving encounter there sustains and strengthens me and makes it possible for me to go forth recognizing his hand in the midst of this broken world and pointing him out to others. I guess what I'm saying is that I have discovered in the liturgy my theory of everything. It is in the act of worship that all human experience and all the forces of nature, down to the smallest subatomic particles and to the largest structures in the universe, come together in a single set of equations. All of it converges in the mysterious wisdom and workings of the Creator. How I wish that the world, how I wish that everyone within the church, how I wish that I would grasp that gift of God present to us in worship and in sacrament. How I wish that our worship would become a fitting expression of all that it signifies by its full, conscious, and active expression on the part of bishops and priests and all the faithful. It is in pursuit of these riches that I have sought to encourage a renewed focus on the Ars Celebrandi, rendering more transparent and fruitful our entrance into the sacred mysteries. The liturgy is both language and vision. It is a place of encounter and transformation. It is the source of our life and its highest expression. It is strength for the journey and a glimpse of journey's end. Time and the cosmos, nature and symbol, language and gesture, all of creation becomes a tool in the hand of God, offering us an entry into the mystery we celebrate. Even scientific knowledge and theory should both humble us and offer us conceptual pathways open to the realm of the Spirit. Allow me to give you a couple examples to illustrate what I mean. We are all rightly impressed with the amazing power of the Hubble and now the Webb space telescopes. They have peered literally back billions of years in time, detecting light that has reached us from stars that formed in the relatively early eons of the existence of the universe. With a new, even more powerful telescope on a Chilean mountain, scientists are beginning an ambitious project to map the rapidly expanding universe. AI will help, since human beings aren't so good when the numbers of objects extend into the trillions and beyond. But for all those accomplishments, all those amazing discoveries, do you know how much of the universe we are capable of probing and detecting with all of our highly advanced instruments? Scientists estimate that we can see or in some way directly detect only about 5% of that which makes up our universe. We have given names to those mysterious unknown forces present in the universe. They are called dark matter and dark energy. We know that they exist because of their effect upon things we can detect and see. The first holds things together, and the second pushes the universe apart. My point in all this, in my theory of everything, is that if we have come to believe through science that 95% of the universe is unseen and unknown, what makes it so unreasonable to believe in a spiritual universe whose existence is revealed in history and which can be experienced in faith? As we learn from the letter to the Hebrews, faith is the realization of what is hoped for and evidence of things unseen. Because of it, the ancients were well attested. By faith, we understand that the universe was ordered by the Word of God, so that what is visible came into being through the invisible. Furthermore, I would suggest that revelation has much to offer science. For instance, people of faith have long known that time itself is a creature of the created world. Well, we Judeo-Christians have always conceived of realities outside of time. We also celebrate events that are both ancient and ever new, occurring in time and yet transcending it. Science, for its part, helps us to reflect with awe and wonder upon the universe. As such, it brings us to the very threshold of recognizing the awesome majesty of God revealed in all that He has made. Our God is always greater and dwells beyond our ability to conceive. Nature offers the tools necessary to us as incarnate beings to begin to perceive the mystery of God's presence in our history, in our world, in our lives. This brings me back to the liturgy and to my theory of everything. As Pope Francis so perceptively pointed out in his wonderful apostolic letter, Desiderio Desideravi, we people of faith have come to see that everything in existence was created for a primordial purpose, to reveal the presence and work of the divine through symbol. In our sacramental system, material realities speak to us as no mere words can of the presence and action of spiritual realities upon our lives. In this vein, Francis makes this bold assertion, first using water as an example. The prayer for the blessing of baptismal water, he says, reveals to us that God created water precisely with baptism in mind. This means that when God created water, He was thinking of baptism, of each one of us. And this same thought accompanied Him all throughout His acting in the history of salvation. Every time that, with precise intention, He used water for His saving work, unquote. Water in the hands of God gives spiritual healing and life. Bread, transformed by God in an act that transcends time, nourishes us with His very self. Blessed oil brings spiritual healing, and according to God's will, can also bring about bodily healing completely unexplained by medical science. And so take pride in your work, liturgists and practitioners of liturgy, people of God. You, like me, have stumbled upon the theory of everything. Your Creator has called you to enter into and to reveal the mysteries of life and of reality itself. Love and cherish this awesome universe, so capable of opening the door, not only to supernovas, but to the supernatural, to an encounter with God, and to become His holy instruments, not only to know the created universe, but in union with Christ, to save it. I accept this award in your name. Thank you very much.